Hello there and welcome once again to The Verdict. Mick Cornett with Kent Myers. We're glad you're with us. We're here every week meeting interesting people and dealing with some topical issues. And boy, nothing's hotter right now in the Oklahoma City area than the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Yes, just a marvelous game against the Heat the other night and the other day on Sunday, and they came awfully close and they played really, really well, watched every bit of it. They really are an exciting team to watch, exciting topic to have talked about here in the city, and it's sure a change.
In a sense, they've become sort of the heart and soul of the community, at least during basketball season.
And they seem like a bunch of good citizens. You know, what do I know, but it just seems like
it does seem that way. Dan Mahoney is our guest today. He's here to talk about the Oklahoma City Thunder. You're watching The Verdict, and we'll be right back.
The idea of sending American money out of our own economy these days for foreign oil is madness. Yet we're spending $25 billion a month on foreign oil. America's 100-year supply of natural gas can break this pattern and strengthen our economy. See how it can create jobs, generate clean electricity, fuel our cars, and protect our environment at chk.com. Chesapeake, America's champion of natural gas.
Wilsey, Meyer, Eatman, Tate. We're accountants. We do taxes, business valuations, estate planning, and consulting. And we're right here in Oklahoma, working with the owners of small and medium-sized businesses. Steve Wilsey and Stuart Meyer have the resources and the experience. Wilsey, Meyer, Eatman, Tate in Oklahoma City and Tulsa.
There's no waiting at the St. Anthony ER.
No waiting.
Announcing the end of ER waiting at St. Anthony Hospital. Go to saintsok.com and reserve your time online.
Why didn't we think of that?
Hello there once again, and welcome to the set of The Verdict. Mick Cornett with Kent Myers, and Kent's going to introduce today's special guest.
Today we're really pleased to welcome back to The Verdict for his second appearance, Dan Mahoney. Dan is Vice President of the Oklahoma City Thunder, in charge of public relations and community relations and communications. He did his undergraduate work at Virginia Commonwealth University and the University of New Mexico. For 18 years he was in the radio and TV business, both in the news side and the sports side. For 8 years, he served as Director of Communications for Governor Frank Keating here in Oklahoma. He worked on the reopening of the Skirvin Hotel in that process a number of years ago. And since 2008, he's been a Vice President with the Oklahoma City Thunder, very much involved in what the Thunder does in the Oklahoma City and Oklahoma community. Dan, welcome back.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
We're glad to have you.
The Vice President, what do you do, Dan?
A heartbeat away. No. We have several vice presidents, so we're all heartbeats away. I have several areas under my purview, and all of them I really enjoy. The corporate communications side, which is all of our non-basketball related public relations, getting messaging out about ticketing and our community relations and other things. We have a basketball communication side, which reports directly to our general manager, Sam Presti. They do all the sports writer work. I do more of the corporate communications. One of the things when I first wanted to take the job, I really wanted under me was the community relations aspect. I feel that's a lot of fun, number one, very rewarding, what the team will do in the community. I did some work with the Hornets when they were here, so I really wanted to do that, which I do. Then also under me is the team website, which is thunder.nba.com. And then recently, I've had the area of broadcasting put under me, our TV and radio broadcast, kind of overseeing that. So it's a lot to do. It's very busy, but as I say, it's a good busy. It's a lot of fun.
Well, tell me about why the Thunder seems so involved in the community. I mean, there's just a number of different aspects. Like every time I turn around, a different players visiting here, or Rumble is out and about causing mayhem around the city. So
He will do that.
well, why is the Thunder so not only willing but anxious to be involved in what goes on?
Well, I would say number one, it comes from the top. Our ownership group, Clay Bennett, Aubrey McClendon, Jeff Records, Tom Ward, all the rest of our owners are very active in the community through their personal, at the personal level as well as the corporate level. But also it's very much a part of the NBA, what all the teams do, what the league does throughout the community. And we feel a very strong obligation to give back to this community. As you know, better than anybody, this community was very supportive to help this team get here. A lot of that was through the sales tax to help renovate the arena and build a practice facility. So we really feel a strong connection to the community, plus the great support we've received since. Our players feel it every night and every afternoon that they're playing a game. They certainly felt it that first season when they were very much a brand new team, still gelling, still developing, which they always are. But they felt, even they'd go out and they'd lose, and they only won 23 games that year, but they felt that strong support, and they want to give back to the community. So it was very, very much a mandate from the beginning that we wanted to have a very strong community relations outreach.
How are ticket sales going, by the way?
I would say good. We're never satisfied because all we want to do always is keep going and keep offering more to our fans. But we had about 93% of our season ticket members renew their season tickets last year. We think we've provided them experience to maybe do the same this year, but we never take anything for granted. We have very high level of customer service to be able to give them what they want at games, make sure that the experience is first rate. We do have a high number of season tickets, though, one of the highest in the league. And there are a lot of teams that would like to be in our position. But we also do have single game tickets, and we always like to get the message out that never assume that a game is sold out. We never even announce ahead of time whether a game is sold out. The Miami Heat was here recently. Of course, coming up in late February is the Lakers, and we all know that will sell very well, obviously. But we never say it's sold out. Number one, we hold back 200 tickets for game day. We put them on sale just before the game. We actually have a raffle and a drawing for some tickets that you can win, and then the remaining tickets that you can buy, those final 200. And folks line up. That Heat game, even though it was 70 that Saturday, it was 35 the next morning. So people were lined up and bundled up, ready to take part in that, what we call the Thunder Reward Zone.
Well, the magic number that I hear over and over again is 18,203. I guess that's a sellout for the arena. How have you been doing selling it out this year?
Well, the Heat was our 21st sellout, and we, as we look ahead, again, we never like to predict anything until we get there, but we're doing well in a number of games. There's a lot of interest, a lot of excitement, and we just never stop wanting to please our fans. Never stop with a very much a drive to make things better, keep things. You never rest on anything. You never take anything for granted. That game entertainment, which I think is real, people have really become attached to. Rumble, Thunder Girls, the Raindrops, the little kids. I think that we constantly are putting new elements into our game presentation to make it better. And the same thing goes on the basketball side. Scott Brooks, Sam Presti, and all the staff at the basketball side constantly trying to put all the pieces together and keep working hard to make it better every time.
How can the corporate community get involved? If you have a business, you might think, I'm not one of the big guys. I don't have thousands of employees, but I'd still like to somehow be involved, whether it's in a sponsorship or getting tickets for my employees. What would they do, and what opportunities are there for smaller companies?
Well, we have a number of levels that our corporate and our business development department brings in. We have publications that we offer advertising in. We have in-game advertising opportunities. Really, I would say anyone to just contact us and see what opportunities there are. We have digital platform, our website, and other things. I think there are opportunities, and we've been very, very lucky to have that great amount of support across the board: the community support, the corporate support, the fan support. but there's always room for more.
Your mascot, Rumble, seems to be a huge
Never heard
hit.
of it.
And I have seen him engage in crowds outside of the arena, and it's amazing for a character who does not talk. There's no spoken language coming out of Rumble.
He tweets, though.
It's
Which I never can understand how that works with the Who.
It's amazing how well he can communicate and captivate an audience, and I guess that's a special gift.
The hardest working bison in show business, what can I say? He is a tremendous asset to us. Rumble is just, people love him. I mean, he's a rock star, what can I say? I mean, he works very hard. He works year round out in the community. He'll have 3 or 4 events per day. And then of course games at night. And he's just a very talented bison. I mean, that's the bottom line. He works hard and just has a lot of experience doing it, years and years of experience. And he's one of the best, if not the best. Well, I think he's the best in the NBA. A couple of years ago, his fellow mascots picked him as the best mascot in the NBA. And he's very well respected across the league.
Now you're about halfway through the season, approximately, a little more than halfway, I guess. So you have about 40, 42 home games, I guess, in the course of
41
the season.
regular season.
And each one has to have a different show. Each one has a different halftime, a different intermission events. Who keeps all that going?
Well, we have an events and entertainment department. John Leach is our director of entertainment. He is actually, if you look at the scorer's table every night, he is down there with a headset on. He's communicating with all the folks throughout the arena who have put it on. But he and his staff keep a watch on the games that are coming up and find what we think is a good blend of various entertainment opportunities, from the national anthem to halftime and all the other things. There are some kind of traveling NBA type halftime shows that are very popular, and we always like to bring them back. Quick Change is one that comes to mind. People love that. Rubber Boy, the very flexible guy that fits in the box. I'm not real hot on that one, but fans seem to like it. But our goal, again, is just constantly keeping our fans entertained and make sure that it's high quality. The other thing that people talk about our games, visiting media, visiting teams, is the family atmosphere. Number one, it's affordable. You know, if you're up in Loud City especially, we have $10 tickets up there. We have food deals up there. I mean, it really is no more than a cost of a movie to go to one of our games. But also just the family atmosphere throughout the building, the number of kids that are throughout the building. In some markets, you go to an NBA game and it's kind of like, you know, date night, which there's nothing wrong with date night, but you go to some games on, let's say, a Friday night in Los Angeles, you don't see a whole lot of kids. Our games, you see kids courtside, you see kids everywhere, and we're proud of that, very proud of that. That is very much a family atmosphere.
All right, Dan Mahoney is our guest. We're talking about the Oklahoma City Thunder. We'll be back with more on The Verdict right after this.
The thing that has made the most sense for me is realizing that I am still an educator, and that is what I do at the Chickasaw Nation. I'm Dr. Amanda Cobb-Greetham. I'm a historian, and I'm Chickasaw. The Chickasaw Cultural Center is amazing. It is a very, very special place devoted to the sharing and to the celebration of Chickasaw history and culture. State-of-the-art technology, exhibits that are not like anything I've ever seen. The Spirit Forest is incredible, and you feel as if you have actually just walked into a forest with huge trees all around you. It's timeless, and yet it's sort of also representative of our time depth, to really just sort of reach through time and touch the past. By the end of the exhibits, you really have a sense of Chickasaw cultural and political resurgence and the extent to which we are a healthy, dynamic, and vital tribe today. Chickasaws have always been an inclusive people. This is something for the whole community and for the state of Oklahoma.
In 25 years, world energy demand will grow by 44%, with oil and natural gas largely meeting the need.
The question is, will America's demand be met by American resources?
Oklahoma says yes. We're developing the largest oil and natural gas discoveries America has seen in 40 years.
It's creating jobs and millions in tax revenue for schools, roads, and hospitals.
Oklahoma's oil and natural gas industry, advancing our state, empowering our nation.
When you have something important to communicate, it becomes clear that there's a lot of competition for your audience's attention. So how can your message stand out and actually resonate with your audience? Legal Graphics has the answers. The team at Legal Graphics will work with you to plan, design, and even test your presentation to ensure your message will be heard and remembered. Call Legal Graphics today to schedule an appointment. The readiness is all.
Welcome back to the set of The Verdict. Our guest is Dan Mahoney with the Oklahoma City Thunder. Dan, I was thinking back of the history now of the NBA. This is the third season of the Oklahoma City Thunder. The Hornets were here for 2 seasons. There was one season in the middle where there was no NBA basketball. But it seems to me that the market is maturing at this point. And so where there was great excitement for the Hornets for a couple of years, and then the Thunder came in, great excitement again. But at some point that newness wears off, and somehow the NBA has to hope it has its hold on the community so it can go forward. The Thunder seem to have been able to cross over that threshold. Was that a major concern going into this season?
I think our concern, if you want to call it that, is to make sure that we're working and everything we do is to build a franchise, a team, certainly on the basketball side, but also a franchise that has sustainability. That people
How do you do that, though? Because, I mean, it's really hard to get that, not to get that new enthusiasm to drop off.
Yeah, you don't want your fans just to live and die with you based on your win-loss record. We looked at other teams and other sports. You look at a team like the Cubs. You look at a team like the Green Bay Packers, who have that long-term sustainability. Now, the Cubs have a 100-year head start on us, obviously. But we also look to the universities. You look at OU, OSU, and all the university athletic departments and the level of loyalty that there is. Again, we're new, but we want to make sure that we have that loyal fan base that we're building. And ways we do it, and a lot of it is our community outreach, to make sure that our fans know that we think we are a community asset. And we are very honored to be able to help in the community and do things in the community, but we think that attaches our fans to our business and to our team as more than just a basketball team. We are a community asset, and it's going to take time. It will.
Let me jump in, and I think our fan base is a little bit spoiled in that none of the players who seem to have built a large attachment have ever left the team. In other words, there hasn't been that star who left. And I think that's another, step for a franchise to have to deal with. What do you do when a player is very, very popular and all of a sudden he's not on your team anymore? Yeah. No one's retired. Of course, they're not even old enough to be out of college, but in most respects. So, but no one's retired. No one's been traded.
Well, the starting lineup hasn't even changed.
Eventually, that's got to happen too.
Well, I think fans realize that that's part of the game, and our general manager Sam Presti, who makes the decisions of who's on our team and who's not, if someone leaves, that player will be replaced by value, whether it's draft picks or players or anything else. We did have Desmond Mason leave after one season, and Desmond obviously was very popular locally, but I think fans understood that, and Desmond was wonderful about it publicly. Everybody understands that's part of the game. Players come and players go, but our goal is to make sure that as players come and players go, there's not an attachment necessarily that you base all your decision of how you feel about the team, about the individuals who are on that team. You have that connection to the team itself, to the business, and to the brand and the logo and everything else that is the Oklahoma City Thunder.
I know you're involved in the community relations side. What new or interesting community relations projects is the Thunder involved in?
Well, we do a lot. We have a lot of education programs. We have physical fitness programs. We really have a strong outreach to the youth in the community. We think that's very important to foster the love of basketball, the love of physical fitness, plus the lessons that Scott Brooks teaches his players on the court and off the court of respect for your coaches, respect for each other, hard work. We're bringing that to the kids of the community. A couple ways we do it. We have our Thunder Youth Basketball Program, which is a series of camps and clinics that we really try to get, and we have players come to those camps and develop the basketball skills, but also those life lessons. We also are now starting a new program which is the Thunder Oklahoma High School Basketball Community Service Challenge. We met recently with a group of high school basketball coaches from the area, and Sam Presti and Scott Brooks spoke to them to really stress that we would like them to be involved in the community, and we think that and some of them already are, obviously, but we really want to foster that and have that grassroots connection to the high school basketball players across the state. And so we have this community service challenge where we're asking high school basketball teams to perform community service and keep track of the hours, and when they do that, they'll return them back to us, and next fall for their high school basketball season, whoever has the most number of community hours for both a boys team and a girls team, we will come and do one of their games. We'll have Rumble and Thunder Girls and our PA announcer and our drummers, and we'll really kind of thunderize one of their high school basketball games as a reward and incentive to do that. But the goal really is, at the end of the day, we hope we have hundreds and hundreds of hours to see here that are turned in, because it'll just benefit each of these communities. And again, it's statewide, it's not just Oklahoma City.
What other community, you talked about the work in the schools. Explain to our viewers what's involved with that.
Well, we do a number of things. We have what was Read to Achieve.
That's what I was
in the Rolling Thunder book bus, which travels around the community giving away books to kids. That is in large part thanks to our corporate support on that. American Fidelity Assurance Company helps us with that, and it's been nonstop. That bus, I don't know how many thousands of miles it has on it now, but it just travels around the area, and we have a full-time person that does nothing but book the book bus for schools and libraries. And it travels around in the summer too when the schools are closed. It goes to libraries and camps, and it's just a great opportunity. The teachers love it, the kids love it, and a lot of the schools use it as an incentive for kids. So the class that reads the most books gets the visit from the book bus. And recently we've had players actually come on and join the book bus. Jeff Green was recently out, Nenad Krstić and Daquan Cook were recently out. Serge Ibaka went and read Spanish to a school in South Oklahoma City. So we're very proud of that. We also have our Thunder Fit program, which is through the schools. It visits the middle schools. And Coach Brooks has been out, a number of our players have been out to develop the kids in both the love of basketball and the importance of keeping fit, eating well, and all of the health lessons that are involved. And then at the high school level, we have what is our Thunder Poetry Slam, which is a chance to have high school kids express themselves. We have a very active Black History Month challenge where we're encouraging kids to write essays and videos and everything else based on their heroes of Black history. We just really believe strongly in every day are looking for new opportunities in the community, because we think that builds that connection, and that's part of our responsibility to give back.
I wanted to ask you about your experience with the Hornets and then transitioning to the Oklahoma City Thunder. What did you learn from the Hornets that you were able to bring to the table with the Thunder, and how seeing another way of doing things helped you personally grow professionally?
I did some public relations consulting with the Hornets when they were here. A large part of it was their community outreach, helping to promote that. They were obviously in a very difficult situation, sort of brought in brand new to the community in a very difficult setting following the hurricane, and they needed help knowing kind of the lay of the land here with both the community and the media. So I assisted them in developing some community partnerships. I learned a lot from them. Suzanne Worden, who was the Vice President of Community Relations for them, Michael Thompson, who was the Director of Corporate Communications, worked very closely with them. It was my first experience working with any NBA experience. I had been an NBA fan as a kid in Philadelphia, was a big 76ers fan, really had kind of grown away from the NBA a little bit just as I grew up and started my career. But once they got here, I think the biggest thing that our fans saw from them and got an experience was that game entertainment, that game presentation, with the Hornets do very, very well. And we actually faced, when we got here, a little bit of comparison. You know, it's kind of rare for a new market to have a fan base that is already familiar with, you know, mascots and dance teams and songs, you know, popping into the, so we had a lot of our fans say, well, you know, the Hornets did it this way. And we understood that, and we reacted to that. Now, that doesn't mean we stepped in and just carbon copied the Hornets. We will steal good ideas, which we did, like everybody does. But we had a very experienced crew that came in. John Leach, our Director of Entertainment, he had worked with us in Seattle. He had worked in Houston. He had worked in Charlotte. So we were able to build on what they had established, and we think even improved it but it took time.
Dan Mahoney's been our guest on The Verdict. Dan, thanks so much for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
Good luck to the team as we
thanks
head
for all the good work you all are
toward
doing.
a suspected playoff run.
We'll see what happens.
All right. Kit and I'll have a final word right after this.
All children deserve a life of hope and love. But sometimes they experience a life of pain, neglect, and abuse.
When that happens, each child deserves all the quality assistance and representation that can be offered in our legal system. For more information, call 23-CHILD.
Oklahoma Lawyers for Children. helping to bring hope and love back to the lives of abused children.
The good life comes naturally to Tulsa, where nature's beauty is matched with an eye for aesthetics. A legacy of neighborhoods graced with lawns and landscaping and handsome homes. A place that seems to have patented an ideal lifestyle. Bank First is loyal to the quality of life Tulsa assures its citizens, to the priority placed on education, culture, and growth. Loyal to builders who transform raw land into residential charm. Developers who see opportunity and add vitality to Tulsa's economy. Bank First serves both enterprise and private lives that need a loyal partner. It's how we help nurture this city's very good life. Bank First. Loyal to Oklahoma. Loyal to you.
In Oklahoma, we enjoy a high quality of life due to good, well-paying jobs. Commercial real estate professionals play a significant role in bringing new businesses and investments to Oklahoma. The commercial real estate community has come together to market Oklahoma's commercial properties nationwide through a free public website, okcommercialproperty.com. We are invested in keeping Oklahoma strong and growing because economic development ensures quality of life.
The Journal-Record is pleased to be a sponsor of The Verdict. The Journal-Record, since 1903, the best source of Oklahoma business news and legal information. And for almost 30 years, Oklahoma political, government, and business leaders have turned to the McCarville Report for accurate, reliable, inside information. Visit the McCarville Report online.
Welcome back to The Verdict. Mick Cornett and Kent Myers. We just finished our show with Dan Mahoney of the Oklahoma City Thunder. Boy, I tell you, if you go to one of those games, and I invite those who have not attended a game to get to one, you just can't help but feel the excitement that this team is generating for itself and for the city.
Well, that's right. And if you can't go but can watch it on television, you do get the same sense from the broadcast team that there's a lot going on down there that's exciting. And it's a great experience.
Let me get you some website information because I know we have fans from all over the state. You can get more information about the Thunder on their website, nba.com/Thunder, or you can go to our website and tell us about a show you'd like to see on The Verdict. That's theverdict.tv. For Kent Myers, I'm Mick Cornett. We'll see you next week.
The preceding program was produced exclusively for the Cox Channel.